We're going to start on our backs with our feet up on an exercise ball. We're going to start with just rolling the ball gently. Bring your knees towards your chest, very, very lightly. So if you have a fresh hamstring injury, you may want to pull a little bit more at the one side to just do the passive range of motion on the affected side. But if you can, since this is taking out the effects of gravity, it is a little bit easier. Trying to work with each hamstring 50-50 is also an option. Remember, when you're doing these exercises, you should have zero pain or discomfort. So if maybe you can only do half of this range or even a quarter of this range, but that gives you no pain, well, then that's excellent. And every day you'll work up to a better and better range. Make sure to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. We don't want to hold our breath here. If that was too easy for you, you're going to transition into a more difficult one. So the affected side, you're going to just use a single leg movement here. Again, you're not pressing hard into the ball, you're just merely doing the movement, and the exercise ball is assisting you with this motion to take out as much pressure as possible on that hamstring. But because you're doing a single leg, of course, it's going to be a little bit more challenging. Again, be mindful about the range of motion here. I was a dancer and a gymnast, so my range of motion is naturally going to be a little bit more than the average person. So again, if you can only do 50% or even 25% of the range of motion, but you're still working at moving that hamstring so it doesn't get so stiff, then that is excellent. Because the goal here is we just want to bring blood flow to the area. We don't necessarily want to stretch, especially if you have a hamstring strain. You do not want to stretch it because it's like a cut on your skin. You don't want to stretch the cut or open up the cut. You just want it to heal. And now you're going to cross the unaffected leg over top of the affected leg, because that will add now the weight of that leg to make it a little bit more challenging if the other ones were even too easy as well. So this video is very progressive, meaning that the exercises are going to get more and more challenging. So if you get to a point where it's just too tough, you start to feel your hamstring getting tired, well, then you can pause the video and restart the next day at the beginning and then just see how far you get every time. Remember to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Now you want to press those hamstrings down. So you want to press the heels into the ball and squeeze your glutes. Press down. So now we're just kind of working a little bit on the concentric contraction here. So make sure there is no discomfort with this, but we're just starting to engage more, of an isometric contraction because we're holding it for so long. So isometric contraction is the muscle stays at the same length as we're adding a little bit of a resistance to that muscle. So this is great because the muscle staying at the same length when you are performing this exercise, so you're not going to be irritating that strain. Now doing it at a different position, if that's too easy, bend the knees to 90 degrees as best you can, and same thing, press those heels into the ball. So the other one we did with our legs and our knees straight was focusing more on the whole sort of musculature, whereas this one, because our knees are bent, it's focusing more on the knee insertion, where the hamstring inserts into the knee or right behind the knee. And so really hold down. So we don't want to lift our butts off or our glutes off or our bodies off. We just want to engage those hamstrings with light isometric contractions. Okay, and just sort of shake it out. So we're just going to do knees to chest and going back. But with this one, it's a concentric contraction because we're pressing our heels into the ball as much as we can as we're bringing our knees towards our chest. And relax here, so press the heels in, keep pressing the heels as you bring your knees towards your chest, and keep pressing them as you move back out. Relax briefly, press your heels, and you guys get the idea. So you're going to be pressing as you push out here. Give yourself a brief couple second relax, press the heels again, and keep that pressure pressing into the ball the entire time you're bringing your knees towards your chest and pushing them away. So that's a little bit of a combination of concentric contraction and eccentric contraction, where we're putting resistance as the muscle is shortening and we're putting resistance as muscle as lengthening. And again, make sure this is not too challenging for you in the sense that it gives rise to any pain. We want to avoid pain as much as possible when we're dealing with some sort of a hamstring strain. So cross the affected side on top of the unaffected side, okay? If that's too much, you'll just do the unaffected side where you're pressing that hamstring single leg one at a time. And you're just holding the affected side. Because we don't want the unaffected side to become incredibly weak as well. We also want to maintain that other side as part of the rehab process. So it only takes 2 weeks for a muscle to detrain, meaning it starts to atrophy after 2 weeks, if not given a stimulus. Now for the last one, you're going to want to grab yourself a towel. We won't need the exercise ball for this one. You're going to squeeze your glutes, try to press up, and now slowly let your heels fall away from you, straightening out your legs. Now you can also do this in various levels as well. So notice, actually before I say that, notice how when my legs extended all the way, I flattened myself up, and then without lifting my glutes, I just bent my knees, sliding them up. So very minimal contraction of the hamstrings going up. We're focused more on the eccentric part of that exercise, which is, again, is the muscle lengthening as it's still contracting. This is, again, very, very difficult. So if you can't do this exercise at this point, don't worry, you will improve over time. Just to give you an idea of range, if you freshly strained your hamstring, muscle strain usually takes an average of 8 weeks to heal. But you also, what they don't tell you is you also want to do some rehab exercises that are pain-free so that your muscle doesn't stiffen up, you don't lose any muscle strength, and that it will actually, from my experience, heal faster. So squeeze those glutes up. So when you're doing this motion, the glute bridge, you want to feel the majority of the contraction in the glutes, a little bit in the hamstring, and none in the quad area. So if you have that issue, just let me know. Send me a quick email if you're one of my clients, or just leave a comment in the links below so I can give you a couple suggestions on things you can try just to help get those glutes firing a little bit better. And if you were able to do a couple but not the rest, then don't worry about it. Just because I'm doing these many, you don't have to do that many. You can maybe just stick with 1, 2, 3. You get the idea. And that's a wrap for this video for today. So if you have any questions, like I said, just leave that in the comments below. I'll get back to every single one of you. And thank you again for taking time to take a look at this video, try it out, see how it feels for you. And if you like what you see, please subscribe, because I'm going to be releasing more videos like this within the coming years. Thank you very much.